Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, 3 months after a destructive ice storm, the DPW joins forces with FEMA to help clean up the city streets. We have all the details coming up in our top story. After last week's wireless committee meeting, the city is closer to having increased cell phone service in the area. We have which provider committee members are working with. Plus, discounted memberships and waived initiation fees are new tactics being taken by a usually exclusive group as country clubs across the country try to survive the poor economy. We have how Marlborough Country Club compares. And later in this half hour, students at Ascot Valley High School want to make your Easter celebration stress-free this year. Those stories and more on this week's show, which begins right now. Marlborough began its citywide cleanup of branches and tree limb debris from the December ice storm this past week, and we were there. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin right now with this week's top story.
Citywide brush cleanup is underway here in Marlborough. Chris White and the folks over the Department of Public Works are taking care of business. The winter ice storm of December 12, 2008 took its toll on the Metro West region. Now, over 3 months later, Mayor Nancy Stevens announced the city qualifies for federal disaster relief through the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Chris White is the general foreman for the Marlborough Department of Public Works, and they're in charge of this project.
We're doing a rough cleanup. We're not doing a fine raking of your front lawn. We're doing a major brush removal operation and slightly less than adequate removal of small sticks and debris.
The cleanup schedule is based on the city's trash pickup days, with each pickup day getting a week for cleanup. In short, people whose trash pickup is Monday have had the week of March 30th through April 3rd for the Department of Public Works to come and pick up their debris. The schedule for people whose pickup day is Tuesday begins next Monday, April 6th. Chris White recommends that people be prepared ahead of time for their pickups.
We'd like to have everybody's stuff out by Monday morning. We've given them plenty of time to do that. We're finding people that are starting to bring stuff out now on Monday's route. We've missed them. We've already been through their neighborhoods. We're not going to be going back.
For residents whose neighborhoods have not been visited by the DPW, Chris White has some tips for where and how to place your debris for pickup.
Put it on the edge of road pavement as long as it doesn't impede the travel on the right-of-way. If you have a sidewalk in front of your house, we're asking you to put it behind the back edge of sidewalk. Neatly piled. This is a good example of piles. We typically like butt ends, which is the cut end, facing the street. Makes it easier for the equipment to pick it up.
So far, the DPW is on schedule and hopes to be done by early May. If your neighborhood is on the upcoming week's rounds, the debris must be a result of the December ice storm. In order to be reimbursed by FEMA, the department had to create separate dumping spots for tree limbs and branches picked up from parks and cemeteries. The brush picked up from people's homes has to be measured by cubic yard and cataloged daily. That debris gets its own dumping spot. In the end, any and all street debris ends up here at the old driving range across the street from the Naven skating rink. From Marlborough This Week, I'm Brian Sullivan.
In addition to the storm cleanup, DPW employees will soon begin the spring cleanup of the city's cemeteries. All seasonal decorations must be removed before this Tuesday, April 7th.
AT&T is closer to increasing cell service in the city after the Wireless Communications Committee recommended approving the company's special permit last week. The proposal, which calls for adding 12 antennas to the existing tower at 860 Boston Post Road East, moves next to the full City Council. The Boston Post Road East tower is near the Easterly Wastewater Treatment Plant. The company already has some service in the area, but wants better quality coverage for drivers and indoor callers since customers have complained to AT&T about a lack of service. The City Council is expected to vote on the special permit at the April 6th meeting. The permit needs 8 votes to pass. From Marlborough This Week, I'm Dan Ginden.
During these tough economic times, here's something to smile about. Residents will likely see a dip in their electricity bills, which could mean a savings of about $23 a month. Colonial Group said on Wednesday its new residential rate, which takes effect May 1st, will now be about 9 cents per kilowatt hour, down from about 12 cents. That's a decrease of about 3 cents. Power Group administrators are purchasing a program for the city to buy energy wholesale, where the city will only pay for delivery costs, with Con Edison Solutions as its supplier. Well, speaking of saving money, for people biting the bullet on the household budget, where does a golf membership fall on the priority list? Well, pretty low, according to area country clubs. Marlborough Country Club saw a loss of 67 members last year. A normal loss for a club is said to be about 30. The club foresaw a rough period, so last fall they waived their $4,000 initiation fee in hopes of attracting new members. Well, despite the grim economy, State Senator Jamie Eldridge announced the date of the 29th Annual Senior Conference this past week, which is a free, fun, and informative event for local seniors. This year's event will be held on Thursday, April 23rd from 9 to 3 p.m. at Aspen Valley High School. For more information or to reserve your free tickets, contact Peggy Ayers at 508-786-3040. Still to come on Marlborough this week, how students at the Jarwick Elementary School are taking recycling to a whole new level. But first, the 7th annual local teen job fair hosted by the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West went off without a hitch on Thursday night. Why local businesses join forces with the club every year. Stay with us. We'll have that story when we return.
We now interrupt programming for this live breaking news. Here is Marlborough This Week anchor, Kristen Doucette.
Hello. We have just learned that due to the tough economy, all funding for Marlborough Access Television has been cut. There is no light at the end of the tunnel, and experts say that M8 will never get that money back.
Yeah, sorry about that, but we needed to get your attention. And now that we have it, we want to invite you down to our offices at 91 Main Street for a new members open house. This is your chance to find out all about how you can make your own show or just learn how to use the equipment to help others make their own show. Come on, Marlborough, this is your chance. Join us at the new members open house on Wednesday, April 15th at 7 p.m. For more information, call us at 508-481-1373 or email Access Supervisor Kelly McLaughlin.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The downturn in the economy is affecting all of us, including our teens who normally work to earn some extra cash. Many employers are not hiring part-time seasonal employees like they used to, but the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West aims to change all that with their annual Teen Job Fair. Their 7th annual fair took place this past Thursday night. Even in a tough economic climate, the Metro West Boys and Girls Club's annual Teen Job Fair showed no signs of slowing this year as it featured over 20 employers at the 7th edition on Thursday night.
We've got the connections to the youth of the community, whether they're club members or former club members, so we're able to have over 200 kids that are interested in jobs now or during the summer to come in for the event.
Employers included American Eagle Outfitters, Bertucci's, Best Buy, Marlborough Hospital, and TJ Maxx.
All the kids are young, they're very energetic, they're creative in their ways, and we're a very young company, and that's what we look for.
The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West also represented themselves for summer program counselor positions. Employers typically provide job applications at the fair, whether they are actively hiring or saving records for future positions. St. Mary's Credit Union also hosted a resume and interviewing skills session prior to the fair that took place in the club's gymnasium. Teens get the chance to learn about the job environment, have conversations about the future, and work on resume and interviewing skills. The Teen Center director at the club, Brenta Braga, states that gaining job fair experience is an important step for teens.
Our main goal for the job fair isn't really necessarily getting them jobs. That's kind of a side effect. You know, last year we placed 50 kids and we were blown away from that. And we're really happy when they get jobs, but really our ultimate goal is giving them experience of a job fair.
The club expected over 200 teens to attend this year. In addition to the job fair, the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West offers daily job assistance in their Future Skills department that helps teens and young adults of ages 16 to 24 with resume building and local connections. We thought it was worth taking a closer look at the program to get all of the details. The Future Skills Institute is a job and career center for young adults between the ages of 16 and 24 that are from low-income families or for those who have dropped out of school. The goal is to help young adults obtain the 21st century skills needed to secure jobs that provide self-sustaining wages.
They can get information about where the jobs are, and if they plan on going to college, we can start them off by providing them with information regarding opportunities for career what's required in terms of school education level.
Akeem Cachero, a partnership director working for the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West, says the response here in the city has been good, but there are more teens out there who need help.
We know there's a lot of them out there. We're still trying to reach out to them to get them here because a lot of them don't know about our services.
The organization was established in 2006 in response to the need for young adult-specific career exploration and job readiness assistance.
Since we started this Future Skills in 2007, we've seen about 80 young adults in Marlborough, and we have helped place about 40% on the job. We've also assisted about 60% of them with their resumes, interview skills, as well as plan or go to college.
The Future Skills Institute helps young people develop their capacity to succeed in the workplace and plan for their future.
We've worked with a variety of employers, ranges from hotel, industry, restaurant, automotive. It depends on what the young people want, so we try to help them to get into that area.
Job readiness services include assistance with resume writing, interviewing skills, networking techniques, and understanding workplace etiquette.
Interviewing skills, how to dress properly for our interview, and anything that has to do with work readiness skills.
All services are free to young adults. Please call Akeem at 508-229-2230 for more information. The city's newest school has a distinctly foreign flavor. Local, state, and international officials last week celebrated the opening of a Chinese company's research and education facility on Locke Drive. CERNET, the China Education and Research Network, plans to use the 280 Locke Drive building for technology research, business training, and university preparation. CERNET purchased the former Verizon training facility last month for $9.7 million. Kindergarten students at Jark Elementary School are helping both their community and their environment through a nationwide effort to collect used juice pouches for TerraCycle.com. We joined the Juice Pouch Brigade on Wednesday to find out how these students collected over 19,000 juice pouches so far.
We're recycling and earning a little money for the school at the same time.
Beth Duplessis' kindergarten class at Jark Elementary School has been involved with a juice pouch recycling project aimed at helping the organization TerraCycle.
It's teaching recycling, it's teaching us that we can all work together for one purpose. It's just been a good community bonding project.
The program allows individuals, mostly from schools and civic groups, to donate recyclable items and in return receive money for their efforts. The program is currently engaging more than 3 million Americans nationwide. Here in Marlborough, the efforts are small, but the outcome is big. According to Duplessis, the students began working about 20 weeks ago, and so far the class has collected, counted, and shipped over 19,000 juice pouches to TerraCycle, receiving 2 cents for each one. TerraCycle then takes the pouches and converts them into lunch boxes, tote bags, and pencil boxes.
The school recycles anyways, recycle paper. So the kids are recycling not only that, but other things that they use daily that would just fill up our landfills.
Every Wednesday and Friday afternoon, students go around the school to each classroom and collect the juice pouches that they've collected.
These classrooms are doing a great job of taking the juice pouches, emptying the juice out, taking out the straws, flattening them, putting them in a container. When we show up at the door, they come prancing out and empty them into our containers. It's like trick-or-treating.
The students have enjoyed the service learning project and look forward to purchasing something for the school with the money they have earned. The class has already been thinking on how they'd like to spend the cash.
The first one was to give it to the homeless. The second one was to give it to the food pantry on their own. The third one was to buy a snowboard, and the fourth one was to buy a boat. So they have various ideas. So it may be, we may split the money. Maybe one will be for fun, and maybe one will go to a charity of their choice.
The Marlborough Public Schools Foundation is pleased to announce its second annual alumni event to honor dedicated alumni as well as hardworking members of this community. The foundation will be hosting their awards ceremony on May 19th at the Marlborough Courtyard by Marriott. If you wish to nominate a person in our community for this year's awards, please go to marlboroughalumni.com. Still to come on Marlborough this week, a spring art display at the Post Road Arts Center. We have all the details. Plus,
Oh, hey there, I got stuff going on in sports coming up later. I don't know what's happening. I'm editing. I need one more cup of coffee. And news and sports just keeps coming in Marlborough. Volleyball, something good's coming later. Phone's ringing. I gotta go, guys. We'll see you in sports.
Hi, I'm firefighter Mark. I just got back from fighting a fire that could have been prevented. Here's an easy and simple way to protect you and your family from a fire. Change your batteries in your smoke detector. When replacing the batteries in your smoke detector, make sure that you have fresh, new batteries. When testing your smoke detector, you want to make sure that you push the test button. And don't forget about carbon monoxide in your home. There are two types of detectors to protect yourself from carbon monoxide. This one is battery operated and needs to be mounted on your wall. This one needs to be plugged into your wall outlet. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Culinary Arts Department at Assabet Valley High School wants to make your Easter celebration stress-free this year. Wondering how? Well, we took our cameras into the kitchen and spoke with Chef G to find out. The Culinary Arts Department at Assabet Valley High School is offering an Easter brunch and the Epicurean restaurant for all those who would rather enjoy the day and leave the cooking to someone else. From 9 a.m. until 2 p.m., there will be a variety of breakfast items, including an omelet station, eggs, and their very special Venetian stuffed French toast.
It's going to be complete with linen, no paper whatsoever. It's going to be really top-notch stuff, and I think people will enjoy it 100%.
The Epicurean restaurant is operated by the students in the Culinary Arts training program at Assabet under the expert supervision of Chef Cliff Giovannucci, Chef Louis Trudeau, and Chef Margot Wilson. While department heads don't want to make their students work on Easter Sunday, they do want to make sure students get a taste of what the real world is all about.
I think the kids will get a lot of valuable experience from this. And I was going to decide whether they want to stay in this business or not.
In addition to this acting as a learning experience for the department's students, it's also an opportunity to earn a little extra cash.
The kids get tips during the course of the year, and we put that into the fund. And we're going to pay them this year.
So why should you come to Assabet Valley High School and feast on Easter brunch at the Epicurean Room? Chef G tells us why.
The average price of an Easter Sunday brunch is anywhere from $25 to $30 in the area. We're charging $14.95, and it's basically almost the same things that you'll find at the Crown Plaza, Royal Plaza, the Radisson, or any of your Sheratons.
The bake cart will be offering homemade pastries packaged for travel for those who will want to be able to satisfy their sweet tooth a little later on in the day. Please note that this will be a cash-only brunch, as the restaurant is not equipped to accept credit or debit cards. Reservations are required, for seating is limited. Please call 508-485-9430, extension 455, by next Wednesday, April 8th, to reserve a table. If you've never experienced this local gem, Easter Sunday might just be the perfect time. Well, spring is finally here, and lots of businesses are celebrating with flowers and bright, colorful displays throughout their offices. The Post Road Arts Center is no different, and they have lots to offer city residents when it comes to the celebration of the season. Here's Kelly McLaughlin with more.
Spring has officially begun, and the community is well on its way to celebrating the start of a warmer season thanks to Spring Panache, presented by local artist Roberta Anslow and the Post Road Art Center. Spring Panache, Anslow's spring display, kicked off on Thursday night with an opening reception. Exotic flowers and beautiful butterflies inspired Anslow's 2009 display.
With the butterflies, which actually shot down in the Cayman Islands, and the orchids came from a friend's orchid house. And everything turned out to be quite bright, so it made sense to do a spring show.
Although this is her spring collection, Anslow tends to paint bright colors no matter what the season.
I tend to like colorful things. I think it gives you a sense of joy rather than even black and white or dark subjects.
Anslow would love it if all residents came to the Art Center to check out her work, and says that art is really all around you in springtime. It's a great season to go outside and explore.
Unusual plants, unusual insects. Now's the time for sort of a rebirth on a lot of the insects. They're kind of cool and they're colorful if you take a look at them.
In order to give residents an opportunity to see the display, her work will be featured throughout the entire month of April at the Post Road Art Center on Boston Post Road. Whether for scouting, purchasing, or just admiring, Anslow hopes all visitors who come to the Spring Panache Show leave inspired. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
Today we have Buddy James, and Buddy James is a beautiful tri-colored beagle with ticking, these little freckles that he has here. And Buddy was originally from Maryland and brought up by a rescue group, was adopted out and returned. And when we did Buddy's heartworm test, it showed that he was heartworm positive. And I just wanted to take a minute to talk about that because it's the time of year when every dog should be getting a heartworm test, because heartworm is transmitted by mosquitoes. And the mosquitoes are coming out now, and all dogs really need to be tested and be put on the preventative. And they cannot take that preventative unless they have been tested and found not to have heartworm. Most heartworm tests also test for Lyme and Ehrlichia, which are two tick-borne diseases, and those are very important to know that your pet is protected from those and doesn't have those as well. So Buddy James is here right now at the shelter. He's undergoing treatment. It's involved, it's expensive, and sometimes it's uncomfortable for the dog. So you really want to make sure that you don't let that happen to your pet. If you're interested in Buddy, you can certainly call and check on his situation. He will be here for a little while longer while he recovers, but he's doing well. He's had his first treatment and he handled that just fine. And he's a great little dog. He lived with children and he's very housebroken. So please call the shelter at 978-443-6990.
Welcome into Marlborough Sports this week. Things are still a little crazy here. Earlier this week, though, the Marlborough boys lacrosse team finally took to the field, and they took on a Milford team that is playing their first ever varsity game. Let's go to the highlights. So it's the first game for John Butler as the Marlborough boys lacrosse coach, and as Milford takes the field with a 1-0 lead early on in this one, but then things started going like this, the other way for the Panthers, breaking it down the field on what was a chilly afternoon. Out in front, no one could save Silverman on this one as that wicked wrister beats the keeper, who has struggled on this afternoon as well. Again, it's Silverman, up 2-1 now, Marlborough. Silverman with the hat trick, the natural 3 in a row. And then things got a little physical. This blast knocks him down on the ground. And then let's get one more from the Panthers. Working it around, inside, breaking it towards the net. Over the shoulder, beats the goalie, actually off his leg, bounces in as well. Barely gets over the line. Panthers win 10-2. They say April showers bring May flowers, but that means we have to go indoors for some sports. And as Kristen just dropped off a little earlier, we got some volleyball action here today. And let's check out those highlights because I thought the basketball team may have been involved in this one. To the highlights we go, and there he is, Zach Auguste, wearing that number 23 on the volleyball court as well. And we'll look at this, Auguste. Bump, set, spike, slam it home. Knocks two guys down, gets the points for Marlborough. Then on this play, Algonquin kept things close all day. And watch out, I was at this thing, and I had to get some care attended to as right there I was taken out. But we got the camera back up and running, and Marlborough was up and running as well. Back to Auguste with another 5 slam-a-jamma, and the Panthers win 3-2 over Algonquin. Oh, just missed. Well, that's it for sports this week. Next week, we'll have the Arthur Lambert 3-on-3 tourney that I'm gearing up for. Ah, man, getting so close. But that's going to do it. Back to Crystal.
Thanks, Carl. Coming up, the Lions Club has an upcoming fundraiser they'd like you to know more about. But first, a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Obesity in America is at an epidemic level. During the last 30 years, the rate of childhood obesity has tripled.
Childhood obesity involves much more than simply being overweight.
So what can we do to help our children?
Plan family exercise. Take the kids to the park.
We can limit the snack or junk foods kept in our homes.
Go for a family walk or bike ride, or simply throw the ball around the backyard.
Together, we can make a difference in the health and well-being of our children.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Members of the Lions Club are very excited about an upcoming fundraiser they plan to have in May that's modeled after a popular long-running TV show. The event is just in the beginning stages, but the co-chairs of the event wanted to give you a few details.
Our newest fundraising event is going to be the Amazing Race Marlborough, and that's based on the television show The Amazing Race. If you've seen that on television, it's going to be similar. Teams of two are going to be getting in a car. They're going to be given a location to go to. Once they get there, there's going to be a challenge that they have to perform.
The race is going to take teams to a lot of nice spots in Marlborough, and even if you don't want to race, we could certainly use help for people volunteering at those locations. We expect people who are volunteering are going to have as much fun as the people who are actually running the race.
If you have any questions or you want to sign up, you can call me, Randy, at the Main Street Cafe. The phone number there is 508-485-7664. Or you can reach me by email at chompdad, CHOMPDAD, @yahoo.com.
Now the cost is $20 per person, and it does include a post-race meal. All funds will go to the Marlborough Lions Club. The next meeting of the Junior Women's Club will be on Wednesday, April 7th at 7:30 p.m. taking place at 20 Applebriar Lane. Women who live in Marlborough or surrounding town and are looking for ways to get involved in your community are invited to attend. The Marlborough Junior Women's Club is a nonprofit organization dedicated to community improvement through volunteerism. For more information, visit marlboroughjuniors.org. And before we go, the Friends of the Marlborough Public Library will be presenting the third of 4 programs of the 2009 McConnell Author Celebrity Series on Wednesday, April 15th in the Bigelow Auditorium at the Marlborough Public Library. The guest speaker will be Dr. John Stauffer, Harvard professor and author. Admission is free and the public is invited to attend. For additional information, please contact Ray Johnson at 413-648-9663. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, due to budget deficits and declining enrollment, the doors of one local Catholic high school may close forever, but there is something being done about it. We have all the details in our top story. Despite a less than ideal economic situation, the efforts of one local corporation are paying off for the city. What the corporation is, and an introduction to the group's executive director. Plus, the city is seeking input from residents regarding city parks and conservation lands. Through a local survey, officials need your help to set priorities and make Marlborough a better place to live. And later in this half hour, Mass Save offers tips for reducing home energy costs during a coin-clenching time. Those stories and more on this week's show, which begins right now.
There is nothing greater than the opportunity to have a Catholic education.
More than 200 students, parents, and alumni gathered last Thursday night to ignite a fundraising and recruiting effort to save the wave and keep the doors of Hudson Catholic High School from closing. Students in Hudson Catholic t-shirts and sweatshirts stood lining the back of the meeting room. Pictures documenting their academic, athletic, and community service successes lined the walls and were displayed on the tables. The Wave's slogan is a play off Green Wave, the nickname for the school's sports teams.
A lot of disappointment, a lot of frustration. It was really, we kind of got blindsided a little bit by it. A lot of the community really didn't know that it was this bad.
Following the announcement that the school would close in June because of budget deficits and declining enrollment, a group calling itself the Friends of Hudson Catholic has begun its efforts to keep the school open.
Our primary goal was to set out our vision to ensure that the children will have an enduring education here at Hudson Catholic.
Richards outlined the Friends' plan, including the need to raise $520,000 by June 1st to bridge a budget gap to keep the school open just for one more year, with a long-term effort to grow an endowment and keep the school in operation. The school is faced with a shrinking enrollment down from 200 students in 2004 to 120 and an incoming freshman class of just 15.
Based on that number, and in a school that really should have over 200 students, it really does not allow us to do all of and provide all of the opportunities that we should have.
The Friends group said it plans to appeal to parents, alumni, and community members in hopes of meeting its $520,000 goal.
Once we've got that money, we can then start to prove our stability, plan for the future, set out our longer-term goals, which are to establish a board of trustees and set forth a plan to keep the school going for many generations.
If more than 2,000 people pledged $250 to the effort this year and the next 2 years, the group would reach its fundraising goal. If its efforts fall short, the money will be returned to donors or used for student scholarships. Students are staying positive about their hopes that the school could possibly remain open. The website of the Friends of Hudson Catholic is friendsofhudsoncatholic.org. A Marlborough teenager was arrested Monday on arson charges. 17-year-old Stephanie Armstrong was arrested around 7:40 p.m. on a warrant out of Marlborough District Court. Armstrong is charged with arson of a dwelling, burning personal property, destruction of property, and conspiracy. The incident, which took place in Marlborough on April 5th, is currently under investigation.
At Tuesday's Urban Affairs Committee meeting, project officials said a Marlborough Savings Bank branch with a drive-through ATM proposed for downtown would be convenient, but some neighbors have expressed worries about the noise. The 16,500 square foot building proposed at 81 Granger Boulevard would also include a drive-through teller. Ward 6 Councilor Edward Clancy asked project officials to consider the neighbors, who are as close as 10 feet from the proposed site. The City Council on Monday night held a public hearing for the proposal. Several people have spoken in favor of the proposal, including nearby business owners. 2 residents spoke against the project. For the next meeting, the committee requested specific building details. The committee scheduled the next meeting on the proposal for April 21st. Wednesday night, the Finance Committee recommended sticking with an abbreviated budget authorization format for fiscal 2010. The State Department of Revenue's Financial Review recommends that type of format. The recommendation for the abbreviated format passed 3-2. The Finance Committee Chairman, Michael Ossing, Councilor at Large Stephen Levy, and Ward 7 Councilor Donald Landers voted for it, while Ward 2 Councilor Paul Farrow and Ward 1 Councilor Joseph Delano voted against it. Councilors Patricia Pope and Scott Schaefer, who are not on the Finance Committee, wrote letters advocating for a line-by-line format. As a result, at least 5 of the 11 councilors appear to be leaning toward the line-by-line format when it comes to a full vote. From Marlborough This Week, I'm Dan Ginden.
A new search committee met on Thursday morning to review another batch of applicants for the personnel director job, which has generated much debate over the last few months. The latest posting for the job closed on March 31st, and the city received 34 resumes. Mayor Nancy Stevens appointed Karen Kisty, her former executive aide, to the acting personnel director position in January. Now, Stevens asked the city council to approve a permanent appointment for Kisty. However, councilors referred the matter back to Stevens with the order to re-advertise the job. Stevens expects a recommendation from the committee shortly after the interviews and anticipates recommending a personnel director in time for the April 27th City Council meeting. 3 local communities will receive federal stimulus money in the form of energy efficiency grants. The White House last month unveiled its energy efficiency program, a $3.2 billion investment in energy and conservation throughout the country. Under the plan, Marlborough will receive $178,000. The funding was partially determined by population and the size of a community's business industry, which affects energy consumption. Well, a new survey will allow Marlborough residents to have their say with what happens with the city's open spaces. Reporter Brian Sullivan caught up with Marlborough's conservation officer to get all the details.
Once every 5 years, the City of Marlborough puts out a survey to get the residents' opinions on how best to serve the community with its Open Space and Recreation Committee. Conservation Officer Priscilla Ryder gave us an idea of what they hope to hear this time around.
Do you like the facilities that we have? Are we missing some? Are there enough open spaces? Do you know about them? If you don't know about them, how best can we get that information to you? So the survey is really to help us make sure that the plan reflects what we need, and then we can go for funding from the state to help us build new parks or improve the parks that we have.
The online questionnaire takes only a couple of minutes to fill out and can be found on the Marlborough City website. Just click on the Open Space Survey link. As always, tops on the list is the completion of the Assabet River Rail Trail. For right now, it reaches up into the border of Stowe. What they'd like to see is it reaching all the way into Acton. Priscilla took us to the big map to highlight some of the other target areas for the open space program.
The plan also talks about water quality. This is where our drinking water comes from. This is where Fort Meadows, where people swim. And then the Sudbury Reservoir, we're looking at making sure that we have a better trail connection in there, and looking at areas that we can promote better as open spaces that just provide good quality of life for people.
Once completed, the surveys will go to the Recreation Committee. They then take in all of the data to help them prioritize what the needs are for the community. In mid-May sometime, the results will be publicized.
We'll have a public hearing or a public meeting where we present the findings of our plan, get further input before we finalize it. So we'll have a draft that goes out so people can give us input and see whether we've touched their issues and addressed their concerns.
Residents have until April 30th to complete the surveys, and who knows, maybe your suggestion will be the next dog park, indoor pool, or recreational trail. From Marlborough This Week, I'm Brian Sullivan.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, the 29th Annual Senior Conference is right around the corner. We take a look back at last year's event to give you a preview of this annual activity. But first, the investment in a marketing corporation for the city is paying off as it continues to plan a bright future despite tough times. We'll have that story when we return. Stay with us.
We now interrupt programming for this live breaking news. Here is Marlborough This Week anchor, Kristen Doucette.
Hello. We have just learned that due to the tough economy, all funding for Marlborough Access Television has been cut. There is no light at the end of the tunnel, and experts say that M8 will never get that money back.
Yeah, sorry about that, but we needed to get your attention. And now that we have it, we want to invite you down to our offices at 91 Main Street for a new members open house. This is your chance to find out all about how you can make your own show, or just learn how to use the equipment to help others make their own show. Come on, Marlborough, this is your chance. Join us at the new members open house on Wednesday, April 15th at 7 p.m. For more information, call us at 508-481-1373 or email Access Supervisor Kelly McLaughlin.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The efforts of the Marlborough 2010 Corporation, a marketing team that helps the city attain and retain businesses here in the city, is paying dividends despite economic conditions that are less than ideal. We spoke with Executive Director Tom Wellen this past week, who says despite the downturn, the city continues to move forward.
A city our size really needs a good advocate for good economic development. So that's how it got started.
Launched in 2006 by Mayor Nancy Stevens, the 2010 Public-Private Partnership was created to improve the quality of life and to enhance the city's image and perception.
Marlborough 2010 was started 3 or 4 years ago, and it was started by some local citizens and other businesses, local businesses, who saw the need and had a concern for having an organization that would be an advocate for good planning in the city and really could help create a vision for where the city needs to go.
Working to help local companies on the move is Tom Wellen, Executive Director of Marlborough 2010, the lead contact for the city in marketing Marlborough as a business destination.
You want to attract the right companies into the community, companies that are diverse, strong, and also good employers. So not only do they create a lot of jobs, but they create the right jobs, high-paying jobs and a good balance of jobs.
Welland was named Marlborough 2010's executive director 5 months ago, succeeding John Reardon, the group's leader for the past 2 years. Welland is the former CEO of St. Mary's Credit Union and has also served as Marlborough's city treasurer. Welland has been active in a number of areas, helping to promote business development here in the city. The most exciting Marlborough 2010 role for Tom has been as the point person working with Cernet, the owner and user of the former Telephone Learning Center on Lock Drive. Cernet is an educational and training corporation that works with the government of China to prepare students who have been accepted to American colleges and universities.
So it's a perfect fit for what was a vacant piece of property. And they're going to restore probably 50 jobs to that facility, again, that was vacant up until they purchased it.
Several hundred new jobs will soon be created with the recent expansion of Separacore, whose roots in Marlborough go back to the early 1990s.
In the state of Massachusetts, there are a lot of incentives to get people, companies, to either come here or expand here. And Marlborough 2010 helped them through that process. So the city helped provide incentives for them to expand here, and the state did as well.
While a sluggish economy can make it harder to raise investment funds, Welland feels that commitments from the business community may be more important now than ever.
But as things turn around, when you've got the infrastructure in place, then you're going to attract new businesses in when they're expanding again.
The Marlborough Community Development Authority aims to help the city as well, but in a different way. This past week, the CDA teamed up with Mass Save to present a number of low-cost home energy efficiency tips that will pay off by lowering your monthly energy bills. The presentation took place at the Senior Center. We were there. Take a look. Massachusetts Municipal Association joined forces with Mass Save to bring a free home energy savings seminar to the area Wednesday night to inform residents with ways to save. The seminar is one of 130 being held statewide and demonstrates the importance of reducing heat usage by providing do-it-yourself sealing techniques, information on which in-depth alterations are most cost-effective, tips on reducing electricity, and resources for home audits. Kevin Parse from Mass Save led a slideshow to illustrate hands-on tips and provided free educational materials to participating residents. Parse says if you missed Wednesday night's presentation, there are 2 things to remember when it comes to saving energy.
Lifestyle choices, how you're going to use fuel, and also kind of major investments. So you definitely want to do the research and know what you use before you make the investments.
Despite a small turnout here in Marlborough, the MMA feels these seminars are and will continue to make a difference. Members of Green Marlborough came to participate and to encourage all residents to begin to assess their energy use and begin to save. For more information or for more energy-saving resources, call the Office of Sustainability and the Environment at 617-625-6600, extension 2106. State Senator Jamie Eldridge has announced the 29th Annual Senior Conference, which is a free, fun, and informative event for local seniors. We thought it might be nice to give you a look at last year's event when then-Senator Pam Rezor hosted. Rob O'Keefe has the story.
The 28th Annual Senior Conference attracted hundreds of seniors last year to its host location at Assabet Valley High School. Then-Senator Pam Rezor hosted the event and admitted it was the largest turnout she had ever seen.
It's been growing every year, and we're really pleased to see more and more people. I think word of mouth has gotten out there, and they're bringing busloads from places like Shirley, so it's very successful this year.
The conference was started almost 30 years ago under then-Senator Chet Atkins and has continued throughout the years.
We have an incredible number of workshops and people displaying information about their programs, about their services. So it's a place you can come and find out about everything that's available in this region and reaching quite a ways out.
The annual event includes coffee and donuts and, most importantly, workshops on topics such as identifying scams, property tax relief, and identity theft.
And I think that people come not just for that, though, they come for the camaraderie of joining together with the seniors from all over the district, and it's really an incredible opportunity.
Blood pressure checks, cholesterol screenings, and blood sugar testing were available to the seniors free of charge. A hot catered meal was served and entertainment followed. During Resor's time as senator, she continually supported funding for senior issues, and at the conference last year, she stated that she will miss working this event very much, but she will be attending conferences in the years to come. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Rob O'Keefe.
Now, this year's event will be held Thursday, April 23rd from 9 to 3 at Aspet Valley High School. For more information or to reserve your free tickets, contact Peggy Ayers at 508-786-3040. Well, another annual event in the city is the Marlborough School District's Citywide Art Show. The late Sandra Gustin, a Marlborough Public Schools art teacher and department coordinator, was honored at the Citywide Show titled Art is Essential. Kelly McLaughlin has the story.
The art department of the Marlborough Public Schools recently held their annual citywide art show entitled Art is Essential. The show highlights selected works of art from each city school, grades K through 12, allowing the public to see how the art students have developed their skills over the years.
We like this show very much because it shows the progression of what's being taught and the development of the skills that the children build as they're going through school.
The exhibit was presented in the Marlborough Middle School foyer, which traveled down the halls, into the library, and up the stairs. This year's exhibit is especially important as the art department honored Sandra Gustin, who recently passed away. A piece of art was donated in her honor by her family for all to enjoy. As an art teacher in Marlborough for many years, Gustin was instrumental in beginning the tradition of the Citywide Art Show.
In her role as art teacher and coordinator, she was a strong advocate for the art department and believed that children's artwork needed to be seen by the public.
In Gustin's memory, a scholarship will be presented to a Marlborough High School senior who plans to pursue a career in visual arts. Those wishing to make a donation to the scholarship in Gustin's memory may send a check payable to the MHS Scholarship Fund and can mail it to the high school at 431 Bolton Street. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
To continue with our schools, the Business Professionals of America Club is a student-driven organization that seeks to contribute to the preparation of a world-class workforce. Thanks to generous contributions last year, the club took 23 students to a national conference where 5 of those students received national awards in financial and computer-related competitions. This year at the State Leadership Conference, Marlborough High School students took 33 awards and 26 students are eligible to compete at the national level in Texas in May. This year's cost per student is around $600 and the club is looking for donations. All checks should be made out to Marlborough High School and sent to the school care of Jan Haley. Coming up, a reminder about a local Easter brunch, Plus.
It was opening day for the Red Sox on Tuesday, but the Marlborough Panthers softball team was already in their second game of the season. We'll have all the highlights and see if we can knock them out of the park later in sports.
Hi, I'm firefighter Mark. I just got back from fighting a fire that could have been prevented. Here's an easy and simple way to protect you and your family from a fire. Change your batteries in your smoke detector. When replacing the batteries in your smoke detector, make sure that you have fresh, new batteries. When testing your smoke detector, you want to make sure that you push the test button. And don't forget about carbon monoxide in your home. There are 2 types of detectors to protect yourself from carbon monoxide. This one is battery operated and needs to be mounted on your wall. This one needs to be plugged into your wall outlet. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. We want to remind you that Easter brunch is being served at Aspet Valley High School on Sunday from 9 to 2. Reservations are required, so please call 508-485-9430, extension 440, if you'd like to enjoy a great brunch served by local students.
Today we have Jane. Jane's a bundle of energy, as you can see. That's because she's a little Jack Russell mix, and they have lots of energy, and they like to run and play, and Jane is a little bit shy at first. She really needs someone who understands how important it is to let the dog come to you and just give it some space and be patient. And once she comes around, she's going to be a lot of fun. She's young, she's maybe about a year old, she's a spayed female, she gets along good with other dogs. So I think she's going to make somebody a lot of fun family pet. And so if you're interested in Jane, please call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
The Marlborough Panthers softball team opened up the season with a 4-1 victory. They stepped up to the dish on Tuesday to see if they could take down the Burncoat Patriots. Here's a line drive of highlights into your living room. Marlborough Panthers softball 8th grader Molly McGuire, that's right, an 8th grader took the hill on Tuesday afternoon, and she pitched very well until the 7th. Up 3-1, the Marlborough Panthers, a leadoff walk, followed by another walk from Molly. So runners on first and second. Ball, actually on the ball in the dirt, the runner takes third, so it's first and third with nobody out. Kyle Westcott, the coach, says, bring in the Say Nay kid. He makes a move to sophomore Megan Nay, looking for her first save. Stepping in and throwing from the flat ground. The grounder to third should be an easy out at second, at least maybe two, but no, the ball is thrown into center field, cutting the deficit to 1 for Burncoat. So Megan Nay goes back to work. This time gets a strike 3 swinging to Michaela Hunt, and then over the backstop advances runners to second and third, so the Panthers with 1 out. Now runners on second and third, but Megan Nay gets the pop-up to the shortstop. 2 down, 2 runners still aboard. Trying to close this thing out. Sails another one high, but a great catch made by Shauna Ryan. The Panthers stay up by 1. The next pitch, Nay, Shanae, that'll do it. Grounder to second, throw over the first in time to record the W and the win. Nay, goodbye. As the Panthers win 3-2, McGuire picks up her first win, Nay her first save. Oh, hey, look what I just caught. Some Marlborough boys volleyball highlights. Let's send them home. The Panthers taking on the Clinton Lions. Look at those uniforms. What is that? And in volleyball, here's what you do. You bump, set, spike. Nice job there by Zach Auguste. And we're going to do it one more time. From the Limes, bump, set, spike. An absolute thrashing by the Panthers. They win 3-0 to improve to 6-1. Playing softball by yourself, well, really isn't that good of a time. Playing basketball in a 3-on-3 tournament over at Marlborough High School, that's where it's at. I caught up with Steve LeDuc last Friday night, who was at the Arthur Lambert 3-on-3 basketball tournament.
Everybody's here for the 8th annual Arthur Lambert Memorial Basketball Tournament. Arthur's been gone since December 2000, known Arthur for a long time and the rest of the family, and we came together as a community and put this together as an event. And in the early years, it was about 6 months worth of preparation, but right now it's about 2 months, 3 months time, and we're a committee of 4 to 5 people, and we're able to go to the people that have been generous to us year in, year out, and we're very grateful.
Well, I'm just here riding the pine waiting for Coach Dan to put me in the game. Next week, though, we'll have a bunch of Assabet highlights for you. Until then, back to Kristen. Let's go, guys. Turn 2, turn 2.
Thanks, Carl. Coming up, the Mayor's Youth Commission is looking for the superstars of this community. But first, a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism. Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. Through the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Marlborough is home to many young people who perform acts of kindness every single day, and the Mayor's Youth Commission is seeking to recognize them. The commission is currently looking for nominations. Nominees must be 21 years or younger, and you must describe your youth's efforts in 300 words or less. Nomination forms are available at the Mayor's office in City Hall, the Walker Building in room 105, or the library. The deadline for submissions is this coming Tuesday, April 14th. The Organization for the Aspet River is accepting applications for qualified teachers to coordinate and supervise this summer's WaterWise workshops dedicated to offering hands-on activities for kids 6 to 12. Certified teachers and applicants with first aid certification are encouraged to apply. Resumes must be mailed by April 12th to the website at oar@aspetriver.org. And you can find more information on the organization's website under the WaterWise workshop page. And just a reminder, the Friends of the Marlborough Public Library will be presenting the third of 4 programs of the 2009 McConnell Author Celebrity Series on Wednesday, April 15th in the Bigelow Auditorium at the Marlborough Public Library at 7 p.m. The guest speaker will be Dr. John Stauffer, Harvard professor and author. Admission is free and the public is invited to attend. For additional information, please contact Ray Johnson at 413-648-9663. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Enjoy your Easter weekend, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, U.S. Congressman Jim McGovern visited the city on Tuesday. Why and for what cause? It's all coming up in our top story. The school committee makes a budget recommendation for fiscal year 2010, and now they want to hear from you. We have when and where you can join the discussion at an upcoming public hearing. Plus, Ward 5 City Councilor Robert Seymour joined residents in an open discussion Wednesday night to offer an opportunity to express their thoughts and concerns regarding issues that are impacting the ward. And later in this half hour, chocolate making workshops for a good cause. How this tasty treat is making the lives of local seniors easier. Those stories and more on this week's show, which begins right now. An important reading program for children made its way to our city this week, which caught the attention of a big name from Washington. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. News reporter Brian Sullivan begins our coverage this week.
Now in its 20th year, the Reach Out and Read program makes its way to the Marlborough Medical Center. Representing the 3rd District, Congressman Jim McGovern has taken time out from his busy Washington, D.C. schedule to read to some of the city's youngest patients. The Reach Out and Read program began back in 1989 and has trained over 50,000 doctors and nurses in all 50 states, as well as the District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Those doctors and nurses in turn have given out over 20 million books to children at the greatest risk, between the ages of 6 months and 5 years and living at or near poverty. As a parent himself, Congressman Jim McGovern sees the immeasurable value of reading to kids.
This is my favorite thing to do, is to spend time with young kids. These are the most important years, and we're here to promote this program called Reach Out and Read, where kids, when they go to the doctors for the checkup, get books to read not only in the office, but they get to bring books home.
Although the program has grown by leaps and bounds over the years, the congressman still has higher aspirations.
I've been fighting for money for it in the United States Congress, and we've gotten some money for it over the years. I want this expanded all throughout the country. It's important that we have a young population that not only can read, but enjoys reading.
Mayor Nancy Stevens also got a chance to show off her reading skills to the little ones. Reach Out and Read gets high marks from the mayor.
A program like this that is an outreach program through our pediatrician's office, I think is a fantastic program. When you have various programs that hit children in all different areas, I think you can't miss. That way we don't miss any child in getting them to read.
The book being read by Congressman McGovern was written in 3 languages, English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Marlborough residents may recognize a couple of the landmarks in it. We caught up with the author of the book, Dr. Ricardo Levitas, to give us some insight as to the importance of teaching young children multiple languages.
The most important thing is that you should start reading and speaking to your children in many languages as you can. Start with 2, if you can 3, go for 3, if you can all the way to 4.
So how soon should they start? According to Dr. Levitas, children should be read to in multiple languages at birth and reading and learning them before grade school.
You should start in early on and at least kindergarten, and they should have a second language every day, half an hour, and I think this country would do so much better.
What Does That Sign Say is the doctor's first book. After months of being rejected by numerous publishing companies, Levitas invested his own money and had it published himself. It has since won a bronze in the Moonbeam Children's Book Awards. Each child that learns to read with help from his book is a return on his investment. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Brian Sullivan.
A Marlborough man was ordered held without bail on Wednesday after police said they found an unlocked and loaded gun near a child and many rounds of ammunition at his apartment. 39-year-old Albert Julius was arrested Tuesday morning and was arraigned in Marlborough District Court on Wednesday on several weapons charges. Julius is due back in court this Tuesday for a hearing that will decide if he is held without bail until trial.
As information about state funding continues to trickle in, school officials Tuesday night urged residents to do their homework and attend the upcoming public hearing on the budget. The Finance Subcommittee on Monday night recommended a fiscal 2010 school budget cut by nearly 3% from the current year. The budget of about $47 million will result in 26 job cuts, but does keep salaries the same as this year. In addition, athletic fees, tuition rates, school lunch prices, and compensation rates will remain the same. Governor Deval Patrick has pledged to award $168 million in federal stimulus money to ensure every school district reaches its foundation budget. Marlborough is in line to receive $2.2 million. The public hearing is scheduled for April 28th at 6:30 p.m. in the District Education Center, with a full school committee meeting to follow. The committee is expected to vote on the budget at the meeting. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Dan Ginden.
Ward 5 City Councilor Robert Seymour hosted an open discussion Wednesday night at the Boys and Girls Club on Pleasant Street to offer residents the opportunity to express their thoughts and concerns regarding the ward. During these tough times, a group of about 30 had plenty to talk about. City officials Wednesday night encouraged residents to speak up when they see problems, including ongoing neighborhood blight, a move the group welcomed. At a meeting hosted by Ward 5 City Councilor Robert Seymour, a packed room of about 30 residents voiced concerns about issues ranging from overcrowded houses, trash-filled yards, to abandoned properties.
This is a representative democracy. I represent the people. I don't represent myself. I don't represent any special interests. Without hearing from the people, it's pretty difficult to represent them. And this is something I committed to doing when I first ran. So I think it's critical at least to do this at least on a regular basis, if not more often.
Seymour invited Code Enforcement Officer Pamela Wilderman to speak to residents about foreclosures in the area. The City Council is discussing an ordinance that would force mortgage companies to notify the community when a home is in a pre-foreclosure state. While residents thanked Seymour and Wilderman for their help, they also expressed other concerns. Spring Street residents spoke up about speeding cars. Wilderman suggested making it a one-way street, which residents seem to like. As a result, Seymour and Wilderman will discuss the matter. In conclusion, all Ward 5 residents found it helpful to be able to voice their concerns to city officials.
People want to feel good in Marlborough. I grew up here, and a lot has changed, but a lot stayed the same. And people really want to maintain that quality of life relative to a small town.
If you were unable to make Wednesday night's discussion, Seymour wants you to know one thing.
I'm pretty available, and I usually get back to people within 24 hours, and I do my best to be as responsive as possible.
Going from Ward 5 to Ward 2, the historic estate at 93 Framingham Road, once home to former Mayor Frank Walker, but more recently the site of break-ins, will soon house search and rescue fire training. Kelly McLaughlin has more on this story.
As an abandoned estate sits empty on Framingham Road, the fire department gears up to use it for training purposes. Celeste Walker, the heir to the estate, has allowed the department to use the house. She has expressed hope that the constant presence of public safety officers will hopefully dissuade future break-ins and crime on the property. In 2006, a group of Marlborough residents were charged with breaking into the home and stealing items. The focus of the rapid intervention training planned by the fire department is rescuing firefighters. The training is funded through a $131,000 grant the fire department received last year from the Department of Homeland Security. The entire fire department will take part in the training, scheduled for the last week in April through the middle of May. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough This Week, over 50 middle school students took time out of their lunch to improve their health this week. We'll give you all the details about the newly formed group called the Lunch Bunch. But first, Clean Sweep 2009. A special announcement regarding this year's event is coming up next. Don't move, we'll have that story when we return.
Hi, I'm firefighter Mark. I just got back from fighting a fire that could have been prevented. Here's an easy and simple way to protect you and your family from a fire. Change your batteries in your smoke detector. When replacing the batteries in your smoke detector, make sure that you have fresh, new batteries. When testing your smoke detector, you want to make sure that you push the test button. And don't forget about carbon monoxide in your home. There are two types of detectors to protect yourself from carbon monoxide. This one is battery operated and needs to be mounted on your wall. This one needs to be plugged into your wall outlet. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. On Saturday, May 2nd, the City of Marlborough will conduct its annual citywide Clean Sweep project with the help of elected officials, residents, and civic groups. Mayor Nancy Stevens and key players of the event met at Memorial Beach for a press conference this past Thursday to lay out all of the details.
It's a pleasure to be here once again to kick off Clean Sweep 2009, which will be held here at Memorial Beach on Saturday, May 2nd. Clean Sweep consists of a committed group of city employees and volunteers who will work on, again, Saturday, May 2nd, to tackle the job of improving the appearance of our highly visible locations throughout Marlborough by cleaning trash and debris. It's a wonderful way to get out in the fresh air, get some exercise, and contribute toward making the city's neighborhoods in which we work, live, and play look their best. In 2008, more than 200 volunteers worked for 3 hours collecting 6.42 tons of trash in 2 dumpsters, as well as 238 pounds of recycled material. It is hoped that this year will be bigger and better. And after the Clean Sweep, when all the volunteers converge here at 9 a.m. on Saturday, May 2nd, once we are done, there's going to be an Earth Day Fair, and Priscilla's going to talk about the Earth Day Fair.
And so once you've cleaned up the city, we're encouraging people to come down to Galoni Park, where we're going to have the Green Marlborough organization is putting on an Earth Day Fair, which will have information about recycling, energy efficiency, solar energy. It'll just have a whole bunch of fun things for kids and good information for people to figure out how to be greener and, you know, make the earth a better place. So once you've cleaned it up, you can go learn how to be more green.
Thanks, Priscilla. Once again, that's Saturday, May 2nd, 9 a.m. here at Memorial Beach. And I want to thank the various city departments, Priscilla, the Conservation Office, the Recreation Department, and the Department of Public Works, as well as our business community for once again coming together to help out in the community. Again, Saturday, May 2nd, 9 a.m. We'll see you there.
The School Wellness Council kicked off their newly developed Lunch Bunch program this past week. The program involves 6th and 7th graders and allows them to get out and exercise for 15 minutes every Wednesday afternoon. We were there as they kicked off the first day of fitness.
I think that this is another endeavor that we're looking to implement to make sure that our students are getting as much exercise and being as healthy as they can.
When the clock struck 12 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon, the lunch bunch officially formed outside the 4 to 7 school with sneakers on and water bottles in hand.
We've seen the kids that do before school exercise or actually walk to school. They're more attentive, they're more focused.
The Wellness Committee has formed a walking lunch bunch in conjunction with the walking school bus for 6th and 7th graders to promote healthy and active lifestyles.
Our full Walking Wednesday program, Walk to School, is going to kick off on the 29th, which is the Wednesday after vacation. We tried to make sure that it was good weather, that we weren't going to have any snow. Living in New England, you never can tell.
About 50 students walked with Wednesday's newly formed lunch bunch.
They typically get a half an hour for lunch and 15 minutes for homeroom. We're taking 10 minutes out of their lunch and 5 minutes out of their homeroom to walk around the building.
Mayor Nancy Stevens, Superintendent Mary Carlson, members of the Lions Club, and school committee members joined the kids in a 10-minute loop around the 4 to 7 school.
I think it's very important that children have some time away from the study time that'll make it better for them when they get back into the classroom. And I also think that in this generation, so many people are getting more into the exercise program, and it's going to help them health-wise.
With a tight schedule that only allows so much time for physical activity during the school day, the lunch bunch is a great opportunity for all students to get involved with.
It gives the kids 15 minutes to get outside, walk, talk with their friends, get some fresh air, and not have to be stuck sitting at a desk.
Students are encouraged to join in on the fun. A permission form is required.
Right now we have 26th graders and 37th graders signed up for the program. As it grows, we're hoping to double, triple that amount.
The lunch bunch will be walking every Wednesday until the end of the school year. Well, it may not be the lunch bunch, but this bunch of volunteers aims to help out our local seniors by coming together and giving a little bit of themselves 2 times a month to make chocolate. The cost of the class, which is $5, goes directly to the seniors, and thanks to the help of one standout volunteer, this group has fun making sweet treats while raising money for a great cause.
It's not all about making money, it's about helping the seniors.
Enormous amounts of time and effort goes into making sure the seniors of this community get the funds they deserve. Twice monthly chocolate workshops aims to do just that by raising money for senior activities. Now, conversations about chocolate typically revolve around the obvious, flavor, milk versus dark, but during the workshops at the Senior Center, the discussion runs in a different direction. It's all about fundraising, and it's become a business aimed at raising money for the seniors. Judy Jewett, a lifelong resident of the city, is a chocolate-making guru and has been making delicious treats for years.
I make chocolate and sell it to raise money. And then we decided that a lot of people were interested in it, so we'd run a few classes.
The workshops are run twice a month in the kitchen at the Main Street location.
It's $5 a class. We provide everything. They make their chocolate and they get to take home a tray of goodies.
Jewett takes each participant through the chocolate making process, ensuring a sweet treat by work's end. Jewett volunteers her time to not only these workshops. She's a woman of many talents, including organizing fundraising dinners for the center.
My family, my husband, my son, and my grandchildren and I get together and we run dinners. We just had a spaghetti, pasta, and meatball supper, and we raised over $700.
All of the funds that are collected go directly to the seniors.
It buys the equipment we need at the center. Anything special we need, we have the money to do it if we raise money.
It takes everyone to give just a little. Whether that be your time or donations, every bit helps.
If we can raise a few $1,000s each year, it helps pay some of the added expenses to keep the cost down for the seniors.
Coming up, an exclusive interview with Harvard professor and author, Dr. John Stauffer.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism. Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. To the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Marlborough Public Library presented the third program in a series of 4 of the 2009 McConnell Author Celebrity Series, which is in its 39th year. Wednesday night's event featured Dr. John Stauffer, Harvard professor and author. We were lucky enough to get a moment to speak with him before he began his presentation to get all the facts about his new book called Giants. Dr. John Stauffer, professor of Harvard University, discussed his book, Giants, The Parallel Lives of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, at Wednesday's third session of the 2009 McConnell Author Celebrity Series held at the Marlborough Public Library. In recognition of the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, Stauffer discussed the interconnected lives of President Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, the 2 preeminent self-made men in American history.
So I trace out that story, a story that not too many people are aware of, as a way to make larger statements about the meaning of America.
Stauffer is one of the world's leading scholars of anti-slavery, protest movements, and interracial relations.
I define myself as a cultural historian, mostly on the Civil War era, but I've also written on the 20th century, and the primary focus of my teaching and my work is on interracial relationships, alliances, friendships.
Stauffer's essays have appeared in Time Magazine, Times Literary Supplement, the New York Times, the New York Post, and the Huffington Post. He has appeared on national radio and television programs and has lectured throughout the United States, including Europe. And now the city of Marlborough. Stauffer thoroughly enjoys getting out into the community and speaking to a general audience.
I come from a background, I grew up in small towns in the Midwest. I was public school educated. My wife and I have a son. We're committed to public education, so speaking at a public library is something that's very important to me.
Stauffer received his Ph.D. from Yale University in 1999, began teaching at Harvard that same year, and was tenured in 2004. Stauffer's new book, Giants, has been a Boston Globe and Amazon.com bestseller. Be sure to attend the last of the 4 programs next month. Diane Rappaport, author and lawyer, will speak on May 20th at 7 p.m. Admission is free and all are welcome to attend. For more information, please contact Ray Johnson at 413-648-9663.
Today we have Bali, and Bali is a beautiful Siberian Husky who came from the unlikely place of Puerto Rico. And Huskies really do like the cold weather and the snow, so they felt it would be much more appropriate for Bali to reside in the Northeast. She's gone through a lot to come here. When she was picked up as a stray, she was emaciated, she was heartworm positive. She's been treated for that. She's also been treated for Ehrlichia, which is a tick-borne disease. And so she's had a lot of medical care to get to this point. Now she's happy, healthy, active. We always suggest that people who are interested in a specific purebred dog really know about that breed before they adopt one, because generally speaking, you'll find that they have certain traits in common. She's smart, she sheds. So if you want a Husky, you have to be willing to deal with the hair. She's a great dog, be a great family pet, seems good with other dogs. So if you're interested in Bali or any of the other dogs at Buddy Dog, please call us at 978-443-6990.
The action's heating up on the streets of Marlborough, but this week the action was heating up in sports, specifically with girls lacrosse. I got an unnamed source sending me an email last week telling me all about the great action, so we caught up with those girls and their lacrosse sticks. They took on Bellingham on Wednesday, and this was a rout as usual for the Marlborough Panthers girls lacrosse team of late. Janine Salvage and Elizabeth Sauer chipped in with 2 goals each, as well as Jess Bartlett, who led the way with 4 goals on this afternoon. Another tremendous win, 15-3, improving to 5-1 on the season. Take a look at the old home of WMCT-TV studios. That's the Walker building back there, and well, it's a nice place on a nice day. But a nice thing was going on Wednesday over at Aspet Valley Regional High School, where Sam Kerrigan was leading her Lady Aztecs on the softball field and taking charge. The Lady Aztecs were in action against Valley Tech on Wednesday as well. Nikki Soto, she played on the basketball team. She's hitting a triple on the softball field here. And then the star of the game, Sam Kerrigan, blasted deep center field. That's going to roll a while, and Kerrigan's going to run for a while. All the way back to the wall. Keep going, girl. You got it all the way around the bases. That's an inside the park home run. Aspet trails 5-4. Well, later in the game, Aspet's still trailing. Same score. Kerrigan, deep fly ball right field. This ball goes way back on the warning track. Camera guy doesn't even know where it is. Kerrigan just keeps running again. Another inside the parker as Aspet picks up the W thanks to Sam Kerrigan's tremendous day. 2 home runs. Next week, we get this bad boy, the WMCT van. We'll be out around the city. Hope to see you out as well, as we'll be covering all the intense sports action. Tons of highlights next week, plenty of them coming. Maybe an extended sports segment. We'll have to talk to Dan about that one. But anyways, until then, we'll see you all later.
Thanks, Carl. Coming up, the 29th Annual Senior Conference is right around the corner. We have all the details you need to know, but first, a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
The Massachusetts One-Stop Career Centers, connecting workers and employers.
For career services in resources, I can help with that.
If it's about computers or internet job searches, those are my classes and they're free.
Before you go on your job interview, I can help you prepare to do your best.
For veterans, it's One Stop for services.
For complete business services for employers, that's our team.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. State Senator Jamie Eldridge has announced the date of the 29th Annual Senior Conference, which is a free, fun, and informative event for local seniors. This year's event will be held next Thursday, April 23rd from 9 to 3 at Aspet Valley High School. For more information or to reserve your free tickets, contact Peggy Ayers at 508-786-3040. And before we go, the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce will host a distinguished speaker breakfast featuring Tim Cahill, Massachusetts State Treasurer, on Friday, April 24th from 7:45 to 9:15 a.m. at the Doubletree Hotel in Westboro. The cost is $20 for chamber members and $30 for future members. Deadline for reservations is Wednesday, April 22nd. Please register online at marlboroughchamber.org, or you can call the chamber office at 508-485-7746. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, the tradition continues. The 29th Annual Senior Conference drew in hundreds of seniors from all over the state. How State Senator Jamie Eldridge feels about hosting his first event. It's all coming up in our top story. Urban Affair Committee members met on Tuesday night. Just ahead, how an ATM development proposal is worrying residents on Granger Boulevard and how the developers plan to accommodate them. Plus, an eyesore in the city receives the beginning of what is sure to be a major facelift. We have what's in store for the Pleasant Street property. And later in this half hour, we have all the latest in local sports news, including youth soccer opening day. Those stories and more on this week's show, which begins right now. At a time when many are worried about cuts to their services, hundreds of local seniors gathered to enjoy entertainment, food, and workshops at the 29th Annual Senior Conference this past Thursday. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin right now with this week's top story.
The Annual Senior Conference is back once again at the Assabet Valley Regional High School. Now in his 29th year, newly elected State Senator Jamie Eldridge managed to make good on his one campaign promise, to keep that tradition going. There were several elected officials on hand for the day's events, as there are every year. But for Senator Eldridge, this year was a special occasion.
When I was an intern for former State Senator Bob Duran, I came here as a volunteer and would help out with the senior conferences. So it's great to continue that tradition that Senator Duran had and Senator Rezor, and really an opportunity to talk to seniors about the issues that are concerning them and also give them some information that they might need as part of the workshops or the sessions.
The seniors were more than happy that the senator kept his promise to continue the annual senior conference, as was evidenced by the large turnout. But the job doesn't end there. Seniors are concerned with rising property taxes and prescription drug plans. With the House budget coming out this coming week and the economy as bad as it is, Eldridge appears to have his hands tied. He does, however, have some ideas on how to restore certain budget cuts that have been proposed.
I'm supporting the local options taxes, hotels and meals taxes that would allow the city of Marlborough to raise revenue when people are going to a hotel or going out to eat, but also looking at things like closing a telecom loophole that will provide money to the city of Marlborough so it can reduce some of its budget cuts.
Peggy Ayers had the unenviable task of organizing the event.
There's a lot to coordinate. We have the vendors, we have the people who provide the health screenings, we have exercise workshops, we have entertainment, we have workshop participants, and we try to get a wide variety of workshops, and we try to bring in something new every year so that people don't say, oh, I went to that last year, I really don't have to go again. So we have a lot of new, different, fun things. There's something for everybody.
Carolyn Dykema, state representative for the 8th Middlesex District, stressed the importance of her appearance at the event, as well as other elected officials.
We need to stay in touch with our constituents. There are so many issues that are important to seniors these days. You know, prescription drug coverage, you know, all kind of services that they need for supports. And this is the place where we can come and really stay in touch with the senior constituency groups.
For Marlborough This Week, I'm Brian Sullivan.
A Marlborough man died Monday night after a head-on collision on Boston Post Road in Sudbury. Police say two sedans collided at about 7 p.m. on Route 20 near Lafayette Drive. The man, whose name police did not disclose, was taken by Life Flight helicopter to UMass Medical Center in Worcester, where he died. The other driver in that accident, also from Marlborough, was taken by ambulance to Metro West Medical Center in Framingham. At this time, local and state police are investigating the accident.
After listening to concerned residents at Tuesday night's Urban Affairs Committee meeting, a 24-hour ATM proposed for the new downtown Marlborough Savings Bank site is now a 20-hour machine. Bank representatives met with two neighbors who have been vocal in their opposition to the project, expressing concerns about noise and lights. Bank attorney Semakanian said he got the impression that the biggest concern with the project was the drive-through ATM. The bank made the decision to change the hours based on the low use between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. and the location of another ATM nearby. The 16,500 square foot building proposed at 81 Granger Boulevard will also include a drive-through teller. The bank would replace the Express Auto Center business currently at the site. The committee still wants more detailed renderings of the site and will continue going over conditions of the special permit next Tuesday. From Marlborough This Week, I'm Dan Ginden.
We'd like to remind you that the school committee is holding a public hearing on the proposed school budget for fiscal year 2010 this Tuesday night, April 28th at 6:30 p.m. in the District Education Center. The Finance Subcommittee has recommended a budget cut of 2.34% from this year. The committee is expected to vote on the budget that night, and all are welcome to attend. The committee looks forward to hearing your thoughts and concerns. Well, to continue with our schools, the Wellness Committee would like to make all residents and students and parents aware that the walking school bus will be starting up again this Wednesday, April 29th. Students from Kane, Richer, Jarwick, and the 4 to 7 school will be walking to school with parents, teachers, and officials to learn the importance of getting active before school. All students are encouraged to join in on the fun. And for more information, please speak with your school's physical education teachers. Marlborough foreclosed on Corbin Plaza, a Pleasant Street property, early this year after former landlord Richard Bland could not pay over $300,000 in back taxes. The property was then auctioned off to a doctor from North Andover, and as Kelly McLaughlin shows us, this building is well on its way to becoming something this city will be quite proud of.
Doctor from North Andover bought Corbin Plaza at an auction last December for $310,000. The city had foreclosed on the property at 110 Pleasant Street last year after the former landlord could not pay over $300,000 in back taxes. A contractor has been doing construction and major cleanup work at the property for several months. All 36 windows have been changed. The contractor has also changed a part of the roof that was leaking. In addition, the contractor is working on new siding for the 4-story, 24,000 square foot property and has completed half so far. A spa will run out of the first floor and is set to open late July or early August. The next major project? A new parking lot. It's scheduled to start in about 3 weeks. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, Earth Day has come and gone, but it's still not too late to learn the importance of recycling. We have a tour of a local facility that you don't want to miss. But first, Clean Sweep 2009 is right around the corner and the event needs you. Don't move. Details are up next.
Hi, I'm firefighter Mark. I just got back from fighting a fire that could have been prevented. Here's an easy and simple way to protect you and your family from a fire. Change your batteries in your smoke detector. When replacing the batteries in your smoke detector, make sure that you have fresh, new batteries. When testing your smoke detector, you want to make sure that you push the test button. And don't forget about carbon monoxide in your home. There are 2 types of detectors to protect yourself from carbon monoxide. This one is battery operated and needs to be mounted on your wall. This one needs to be plugged into your wall outlet. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. In celebration of Earth Day on Saturday, May 2nd, gather your family and friends to help clean up the city at this year's 2009 Clean Sweep event. We took a look back at last year's event to show you just how successful this citywide effort was. A Clean Sweep, residents aim to green up the area by collecting trash around the city. Elected officials, residents, civic groups, and corporate and business representatives participated in the 3-hour event that went beyond everyone's expectations. Volunteers met at Memorial Beach early that Saturday morning to obtain work assignments, supplies, and materials. Despite the weather, the turnout was high. Mayor Nancy Stevens kicked off last year's event with some motivational words.
This truly is a community event that has been so successful over the last couple years. I was a little worried this morning with the weather whether we'd have a good turnout, but I have to say that we have had a fantastic turnout.
This year, the mayor and her team of efficient officials aimed to collect even more as the press conference was held last week at Memorial Beach to kick off the 2009 festivities and to inform residents why now, more than ever, is a great time to think green.
In 2008, more than 200 volunteers worked for 3 hours collecting 6.42 tons of trash in 2 dumpsters, as well as 238 pounds of recycled material. It is hoped that this year will be bigger and better. And after Clean Sweep, when all the volunteers converge here at 9 a.m. on Saturday, May 2nd, once we are done, there's going to be an Earth Day fair, and Priscilla's going to talk about the Earth Day fair.
And so once you've cleaned up the city, we're encouraging people to come down to Galone Park, where we're going to have the Green Marlborough organization is putting on an Earth Day fair, which will have information about recycling, energy efficiency, solar energy. It'll just have a whole bunch of fun things for kids and good information for people to figure out how to be greener and, you know, make the Earth a better place. So once you've cleaned it up, you can go learn how to be more green.
Thanks, Priscilla. Once again, that's Saturday, May 2nd, 9 a.m. here at Memorial Beach. And I want to thank the various city departments, Priscilla, the Conservation Office, the Recreation Department, and the Department of Public Works, as well as our business community for once again coming together to help out in the community. Again, Saturday, May 2nd, 9 a.m. We'll see you there.
In conjunction with this event, the city will be holding a household hazardous waste collection day on Saturday, May 16th. Residents can drop off items at the Easterly Water Pollution Control Facility behind the Halfway Cafe from 9 a.m. to noon. Approved items include aerosols, antifreeze, batteries, fluorescent light bulbs, and brake fluid, among other hazardous waste items. For more information, please call 508-624-6920. Well, now you hear all these things about going green and how it's important to recycle. Well, to ensure that you see how our recycling and waste programs work here in the city, we took a moment to visit the We Care co-composting facility to learn more. We sat down with President Chris Ravenscroft to find out how you can save the city money just by recycling.
The years, our society has become an ever-increasing wasteful population, and as a result, landfills are filling up and closing on a daily basis. In Massachusetts, there are only 7 operating landfills. By recycling, we can eliminate a large portion of the waste stream. In Marlborough, our solid waste is handled at the We Care Environmental Co-composting Facility. The solid waste collected curbside is co-composted with residuals from our 2 wastewater treatment plants. The product from this process is a soil amendment and is considered a recycled material.
It's about 70% organic, and as a result, when mixed with marginal soils, sandy soils or gravel, it will generate a loam-type topsoil, which is very fertile and appropriate for growing all kinds of materials, from regular grasses to garden vegetables to window boxes, and the like.
Leaves, yard waste, and household paper products will pass through the process and become a usable product. However, for every ton that enters the process, the city pays We Care Environmental $94. Now, by recycling or home composting the yard waste, these per ton payments are eliminated.
If the city residents recycle at the curbside, that is, they separate out their glass and plastic and paper, that material is taken by Allied Waste at no charge to the city. Whereas if that material is commingled with their trash and it comes to our facility, that material is removed and subsequently transported off-site at a charge to the city.
It has been calculated that for every 5% increase in the curbside recycling rate, the city could save about $75,000.
The recycling committee within the city has estimated that the recycling rate is between 11 and 13%. Recycling rates in the 30% to 40% range are not unusual, and some communities even go as high as 50%. There's definitely room for improvement, and I think all of us would like to see the rate of recycling increase within the city.
Now, it's great to help the city become more green by recycling and picking up trash, but real energy savings begins in your home. There are many energy-saving tips you can apply to your everyday lifestyle that will lower your monthly energy bills. Green Marlborough co-founder Jennifer Boudry told us that there is one specific task that all residents must do before the energy-saving process starts rolling.
To reduce your energy consumption at home. And one good way to get started is to have a free energy audit through masssave.com.
The action that is most likely to yield substantial energy savings is getting a comprehensive home assessment or energy audit by a qualified person and then acting on the recommendations for the most effective improvements. A free home energy audit can usually tailor recommendations to provide reasonably fast paybacks for the homeowner starting in the first year. There are many small things that together can add up to big savings. Putting appliances and electronics on power strips to turn off when they're not in use, turning down water heater temperatures, setting back thermostats, putting plastic on windows, and taking out or covering windows when air conditioners are put away. Unfortunately, the biggest heating-cooling wasters are uninsulated, leaky homes with leaky attic ducts and old, inefficient equipment. A comprehensive free home energy audit should look at the whole house and provide very specific recommendations and priorities. For more information on your possible free home energy audit, visit masssave.com.
Coming up, 80-degree heat is set to hit the area this weekend just in time for the Garden Club's springtime display. Plus,
Well, lots of great headlines coming up in sports, but we got a good look at the Marlborough Youth Soccer Program, which had its opening day last Saturday.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism.
Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. To the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
after a long, hard winter, the gardeners of this city will welcome spring temperatures with Art in Bloom 2009, the group's annual gift to City Hall. The public is invited to enjoy the flower displays that will be displayed around City Hall for free from Monday, April 27th until Wednesday, the 29th. An opening or celebration will take place Monday night from 6 to 7 before the City Council meeting.
Today we have Silton, and Silton was found running loose as a stray near a place called Silton Glass, so that's how he got his name. He doesn't really know it, so his new family will be able to call him whatever they like. I call him Fresh because he's a Chihuahua and he's very fresh. He is not a dog for children. He definitely needs an adult home, preferably somebody that is used to Chihuahuas and knows that they might have a little bit of a Napoleon complex. So Silton can be a bit nippy. He's not housebroken yet. He seems to get along okay with other dogs and cats. He can be a little annoying to other dogs sometimes, so you need a tolerant dog to be with Silton. If you're interested in Silton or any of the other dogs at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at the shelter. The number is 978-443-6990.
Let's see here. Big week in sports, trying to figure out what I want to cover. Man, phone keeps ringing. WMCT Sports, this is Carl. Yes, Marlborough Youth Soccer highlights. I think we can get that done. Just a minute. Problem solved. Marlborough Youth Soccer.
Welcome to opening day. It's our first home games today. This is our U8 and U12 games being played right now.
Over 800 kids in Marlborough participate in the youth soccer program, and a product of that program is President Kellyanne McCabe, who believes youth soccer can benefit any child.
It's a great recreational program. We get kids out here starting at 4 years old, get them enjoying the game, learning how to touch the ball, move with the ball, and play in a team environment and have fun.
While having fun is always an important part of youth soccer, for James Duffy, he's seen the development of these young competitors.
It's amazing to see the kids. I started coaching when I was U6, and when they first started playing, all you do is run around. Then after a couple of seasons, it's amazing how they come together as a team, and they love the sport, and the sport is growing tremendously.
In order for these players to grow off the field, they need some fuel, they need food, and they need to eat. So Ellen Major volunteered to reopen the snack shack.
Marlborough Youth Soccer in Galoney Park is really one of the best soccer facilities around, but for a while the snack shack was closed. So we wanted to make sure that people could come and get a chance to get whatever food that they needed. It's also good for Marlborough Youth Soccer because we raise some money to help uniforms, balls, a lot of things that the teams need.
And we got more in sports. Well, Aaron Moore. And in this game, you won't see any home runs, but you will see somebody sent home.
Aaron Moore on the hill for the Lady Aztecs on Wednesday morning, as it was vacation week for Assabet, as they took on Maynard in a tough battle, 2-1 in the top of the 7th, trying to steal second. A close play. She's originally called safe. Assabet on top by 1. Michael Bryan goes out to argue. Look at it here. Freeze it. Appears to be out. So after a little bit of discussion, the umpires and Michael Bryan huddle up, and the call is made for an out. So they'll walk off, and the girl will be removed from second base. Well, the Maynard coach isn't too happy about it, and the girls think it's pretty funny, but the umpires didn't think he was very funny. He'll take the long path up the hill. See ya out of this game. So trying to close it out, Aaron Moore. The pitch, grounder up the middle. So had the runner been on second, as it gets by the center fielder, she probably would have scored. So the correct call overturns a run as well. Aztecs hold their 2-1 lead. 2 down. Trying to get out of this ball game. Aaron Moore gets the pop-up to the shortstop, Nikki Soto, as the Aztecs go on the win 2-1, improving to 5-2.
Make some final notes on this week, as that'll wrap it up for sports. Until next week, when we'll have some incredible tennis highlights, a lot of serves, volleys, and overheads. Until then, enjoy the warm weather, everybody.
Thanks, Carl. Coming up, one local librarian moves west. We have her moving details and why she's leaving Marlborough after 2.5 years. But first, a look at a beautiful, warm 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
The Massachusetts One-Stop Career Centers, connecting workers and employers.
For career services and resources, I can help with that.
If it's about computers or internet job searches, those are my classes and they're free.
Before you go on your job interview, I can help you prepare to do your best.
For veterans, it's One Stop for services.
For complete business services for employers, that's our team.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Marlborough Public Library's young adult librarian is moving on to bigger and better things. 27-year-old Eliza Langens will miss her time here in the city, but says it's time to move on. At a goodbye party on Wednesday evening, it was all about reminiscing about the past 2.5 years.
Library's young adult librarian is moving up and moving west. 27-year-old Eliza Langens has taken a job as the director of the Hatfield Public Library in Western Massachusetts.
It's a smaller library, but really happening, and I have lots of ideas, and I'm excited to be director.
It was difficult to tell the students involved in fan clubs she led of her decision.
I'm going to miss the programs and the people. Like, I have the anime and manga fan club, which is so much fun. I have we've had a really popular book club for adults, which I'm going to miss a lot, and for teens. Mostly the people. I'm going to miss them a lot.
Library Director Salvatore Genovese says Langens was very active in programming here in Marlborough, which may have helped her attain her job in Hatfield.
I'd started a lot of programs here and I'd organized a lot of things here, so I was able to convince them that I would be a good director.
The library will try to have other staff members lead her programs, but given the economic downturn, the library will probably not hire a new young adult librarian at this time. Langens said she is a little nervous about starting her new job, but has some adrenaline going. Her last day in Marlborough was Wednesday, and her new job in Hatfield will start next week.
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas, and they do have a building project going, so they're hopefully going to be getting a new building in a couple of years, which would just be fabulous. So it's a really good opportunity for me.
The library held a party featuring ice cream for Langens on Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m.
Just so people know, the programs are going to continue. We have different staff members taking over different programs, and so nothing is stopping.
And before we go, the annual Mayor's Dinner with a presentation of the Senior of the Year Award will take place on Thursday, May 21st from 5 to 8 p.m. The event is held at Marlborough High School. Tickets will be available starting next week to Marlborough seniors older than the age of 60. For ticket info, please call the Council on Aging at 508-485-6492. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.